Hey guys, how's it going? Season 9 of My Hero Ultra Rumble is nearly over, and I'm gonna be honest, it's been this has been a weird season. Because we single-handedly had the best thing in the game's history happen, but also, it happened in the worst season of the game. You might be like, Webavalo, you think this is the worst season? Yes I do. And I kind of want to talk about why this season hasn't been the hit that Viking thought it was going to be. So, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because it all helps my channel out and pushes it to other people who play this game. Now, let's get started. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the weekly/daily challenges changes. So, when Season 9 began, before this, we could earn tickets and other things through doing the daily and weekly challenges. This gave players a reason to log into the game every week, to finish their challenges, to get their tickets. And usually, by the end of the week, you had enough tickets to do one 10 pull. But when Season 9 started, they changed all of that. So now, daily and weeklies only give you XP, which go towards the license where all of those tickets have been moved. Well, most of those tickets, because even though they moved everything to the license, you're actually earning less tickets overall than you were before, but you're gaining more items and other stuff in the game through the license. So it's kind of a fair trade-off, I guess. The thing I liked about this at first, and a lot of other players did, was that instead of being limited to one 10 pull a week, we could work at gaining tickets at our own pace. So, if you grinded the game a bunch, you will have like 6 10 pulls within the first 2 weeks of the new season. But the issue is, when you come to the end of the season, like right now, you can't earn tickets anymore. There are no events to earn tickets, so your only real way of doing pulls is to spend money. And I think it's really scummy when games pretty much force you into an area where you can only spend money. But on the other side, the other reason that this sucks is for the opposite. Let's say you have somebody that can't really play My Hero Ultra Rumble that much because they have other stuff to do. Let's say they can only log on the game for an hour a day. In previous seasons, this was fine, because you could get your dailies done, and eventually by the end of the week, you'd have all your weeklies done. So that would be fine. But now, because of the new way it works, this season pass is really grindy. And even though they are giving boosts, it still takes a really long time to get all the tickets. So, people that can't play the game that much are kind of losing out, and realistically won't be able to finish the pass by the time the season ends. I really do hope that Viking can find some kind of way to fix this issue, because for players that grind and players that can't really play that much, this is a big issue, because you'll be in an issue where, right now, let's take me for example, I've already gotten Ace rank and I've finished the pass. I'm not earning anything from doing dailies or weeklies anymore, so what's the point of me playing the game if I can't really earn anything? Or, if you can't play the game, you're panicking right now because you know you won't have enough time to finish all the challenges and you'll be missing out on tickets, which sucks. But I really do hope they can come to some kind of middle ground maybe, so maybe we could earn some tickets on the dailies and weeklies and some tickets on the season pass. The next thing has been the characters that they've released into My Hero Ultra Rumble recently. So the last 3 characters we've had were Strike Kirishima, Kurogiri, and Tech Denki. And there are people that absolutely love these characters, and that's fine. But a vast majority of players think that these characters are kind of underwhelming. It's not that they're bad, it's just that they don't really make an impact. Viking have struggled with character balance since at least the end of Season 3 when they released Twice. Because before then, it was fine. Some characters were a little bit broken, but the vast majority were completely fine. But then Twice came out, then All For One came out, etc, etc, etc. And every character that came out since then, until recently, was busted and OP and broken and could just do everything at once. But with these last 3 characters, they've released them, and they can only do what they're meant to do. Which is good. Kurogiri can only teleport and he's garbage at damage and everything else. Kirishima's defense and slightly good damage. Tech Denki can do damage, but it's not really that much. He's more of a tricky type character. But the reason nobody's using these characters and the reason everyone thinks that they're underwhelming is because why would you choose those characters when the last 8 characters that have been released are busted, can do what they do in most cases, and can do what they do better than them? We did recently get that groundbreaking balance patch where they nerfed a lot of characters that we have been asking to get nerfed for months at this point. It finally happened. But some of these characters are still very OP and busted. Let's take Full Bullet Deku for example. Yes, he got a huge damage nerf on his alpha, but with the right tuning system and level ups, he can still hit 101 per shot with his alpha, which is still way too much for any character to hit for. But then you have characters like Hawks, who got over nerfed and is now probably one of the worst characters in the game. Realistically, from here, there are 2 routes that Baiking could take. The first route is they go back and all those characters that can do everything, they nerf or buff what's needed to make them good at the specific thing that they're supposed to be good at. Like Twice for example, they could absolutely destroy his damage, but buff his clones and buff his gamma, make him more balanced. Or they could take route number 2, where this was just a weird patch of character releases, and then from season 10 onwards, start releasing characters that can do everything again. This is the worst of the 2 options, but knowing Baiking, this is a possibility. I just really hope that they can figure out how to release or fix older characters so the game feels more balanced overall. The next thing that's made Season 10 underwhelming has been the new map. Now, the map is getting better and things are improving, and hopefully by Season 10 all of the issues with this map will be gone and it'll actually be fun. But when Season 9 started, this map was a mess. It did not work on Switch, did not work on PS4, did not work on PS5, and did not work on Xbox. The only console or platform it worked on was PC, because that's where they do all the development stuff. It was not optimized good at all, and you would constantly have FPS drops or stutters or lags, or hell, most of the time, the game would just straight up crash as soon as the match loaded. This happened so much at the start of Season 9, and was a big reason that I and a lot of people actually stayed away from this map. Which sucked, because there would be times where I'd load up the game, see the new map was there, and I'd either have to play unranked, or wait the hour for the map to rotate to one that actually works. Now, to give credit to Baiking, they have stealthily been fixing it as the season's gone on. They haven't mentioned it in any patch notes, but if you think about the time you first played on that map when it first came into the game, and playing on the map now, it's a lot more stable. There are still some FPS crashes, but nowhere near as many as there used to be. Another issue with the new map, and I don't quite know how to explain this one, but I'll try my best. It just feels too big. Now, a bigger map is always nice, because it gives us more to explore, but I find on the new map, compared to the other 2, you have so many more matches where you just don't run into any other teams until the halfway point or end game, which I guess is good if you want to loot up and get items, potions, levels, and all that stuff. But if you want to fight, good luck, because unless you landed in one of the main areas where everybody drops, you're not going to find anybody until mid-game. The next thing is kind of a small one, but a lot of people have had it happen this season, and it's pretty annoying. And that's that KO credits have been broken this entire season, and are still broken right now. So basically, you've probably had this happen and not even realized. Sometimes you'll be playing the match, then all of a sudden you start seeing damage numbers, but they are nowhere near you. And you're seeing the damage ticks and even the down, then randomly you get credit for a KO that you never did that was the other side of the map. I thought this was limited to twice originally, but talking to other people, I found out that it can happen on any character. The bug seems to be if you're playing a character that someone else in the match is playing. So let's say I'm playing All Might. If someone else is playing All Might, our KO credits are getting mixed up, and sometimes our KOs will count for theirs, and theirs will count for ours. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why that's happening, but I really do hope that King can fix it, because it's kind of annoying, to be honest. And the final thing that has this one isn't even underwhelming. This one is just, how could you let this get so busted? And that is the tuning system. Now, a lot of people have a lot of different feelings about the tuning system. I will make another video one day going more into this because there is so much to talk about. But today I want to talk about the more recent additions to the tuning system that they've been making. So whenever a new character comes out, they get their own new tuning system slot. And when we get a tuning system slot, they have a regular skill and a special skill, which will go into one of the two slots. The last couple that have been released are kind of busted. And I don't mean like, oh, it's busted, he's just complaining. Like, genuinely busted to the point where people can potentially one-shot you because of their tuning system builds. When Tech Denki got added, his tuning system skill is that if you get a guard break on somebody, you become electrified. You know, like Denki's special action where if anyone touches him, they get stunned? Yeah, that. Now, pair that with a character like Strike Derby, who is right next to you when your guard breaks most of the time. He can potentially one-shot you because he can use his beta to hug you, get the guard break, then you get stunned, which resets your knockback, and he can just attack you again. I've had this happen to me a couple of times, and it is very frustrating. But Tech Denki isn't the only culprit. There have been a few others. Let's take Strike Kirishima, another one of the more recent characters. His special action, basically the ability Sturdy from Pokemon. If you're in a fight, and you get hit by a shot that should kill you, instead of it killing you, you are left on 1 HP, which doesn't sound that busted, but if you pair this with a character that has very high mobility, or can just move around very quickly, this basically makes it so that they can survive pretty much most fights that they get into, because they know, hey, I can't be KO'd, I'll always be left on 1 HP, which is kind of dumb. When the tuning system first came out, a lot of people accused it of being pay to win. And I was one of the few people that didn't really see it that way. But as more characters are being added to the game and more tuning system abilities are being added for those characters, which you can only get by doing gacha, which most likely will end up spending money on, I'm kind of starting to see what they mean. It is very much becoming pay to win. I know King have said that they do plan on starting to balance some of the tuning system stuff, but so far we haven't seen any changes to any tuning system stuff. Hopefully we see it sooner rather than later. But yeah, those are just some of the things that have made this season kind of for me and a lot of other players. My name is Webavalo. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.